Dave Peters, and welcome to Throwdown TV. The common problem you have with a band interview is that when you ask questions, there tends to be at least one guy in the band that's going to answer too much, and is a little too verbose, and maybe speaks a little too much, and I'm that guy. So what we'll do is we'll give the opportunity for these guys to answer some questions, as well as Mr. Jason Welsher here, who does all the interviewing and never had a chance to really talk about himself. So we'll start with Jason, and we'll go into something that's been kind of on our minds lately with respect to Die For, and just the overall concept of your guys' art and everything, which has a lot to do, I think, with the mustache.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about with your mustache earlier. It's a new look for you.
It is.
It's I've known you for about what do you think, like 12 years plus, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe a little more.
Plus.
I've never seen the mustache quite like it is today.
Well, thanks for noticing, Dave. I appreciate it.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I couldn't.
I think it's cultivated a little more though. It's a little thin.
A little thin. Well, I've been trying. I just don't know.
Just keep it going.
Before it was going, I was shaving like every time I was in the shower. I take showers twice a day, so I was trying to shave it, hoping it would just grow full, but I have no clue.
For me, I think it's less about the aesthetic itself than more so what you were talking about, the concept behind a mustache, and what's the theory?
The theory was I was driving in my car, and on AM radio they were talking about how people with mustaches make more money than people that don't have mustaches. So, I mean, you catch up to speed here, Dave. So anyways, yeah, so this guy
clearly that's why I'm the most broke.
So I was just like, fuck it. There's not much going on up here. I'm kind of thinned out back here, and I'm not gonna do hair plugs or whatever they're doing nowadays in Hollywood. So and I don't even have them.
I think hair plugs is the newest technology.
Is it?
But I think a toupee would do well for you.
Well, fuck yeah, maybe a little Krishna Tell or something. Maybe?
The Larry David look, I think.
Well, you guys heard it over the weekend. Arthur thinks I am Larry David. Mm. That's a compliment.
There's an argument to be made for that if you know Mr. Welsher here.
And we're all big Curb Your Enthusiasm fans, so this is a good thing. So
well, let's take a minute to get to know Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark as well. Most people may not know that they're actually both named Mark. He introduced himself as Mitchell, but that's his last name, is to avoid confusion. Although sometimes.
Well, I call them the Marx Brothers.
The Marx Brothers. Mark E. Mark, which is sort of a play on words. It's just Mark and Mark in Spanish. Yeah. But then it's also like Mark E. Mark and the Funky Bunch. But Mark, so you're a surfing enthusiast. You got up at what time this morning to go surfing?
Oh, 5.
5.
Yeah.
How long would you say that you were shredding today?
A good 3 hours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you worry at all about like sharks or anything like the jellyfish?
Jellyfish and sharks, I'd say.
Have you ever been stung by Man-O-War?
Never.
I've listened to Man-O-War.
Have you ever listened to Man-O-War?
Yeah, I love Man-O-War.
Would you say it's a similar feeling?
Probably. That electricity just kind of like going through your body.
Energizes you maybe?
Yeah.
Shoots a little bit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Empowers you maybe? What's the most exhilarating thing about surfing?
Wow. Just shredding on waves.
In the pipe? Or do you like to air a lot, or do you do the?
Nah, I just kind of stay low and just.
He's a soul surfer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Soul surfer. Okay.
Soul surfer.
If you were going to identify with a character from a surf movie, would you think it would be more like Patrick Swayze in Point Break, or Turtle from North Shore?
Well, his hair's like Turtle.
Yeah.
From North Shore.
Yeah, Turtle, I'd have to say.
Turtle.
If I had to pick one of the two, yeah.
Well, if you were to identify
pretty
with...
sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I would identify him more as a Jeff Spicoli.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, I did get called that for a full 4 weeks of tour on Europe. That was my name.
What was your reference? To avoid confusion, oftentimes when there's two names present, we'll just give both. Say since they're both Mark, we'll give them both their own separate names entirely. So this would be Spicoli on the tour, and you were called. He knows, he's just not saying because it's embarrassing, but it was Stamos actually.
Apparently,
from the sitcom Full House, popular throughout the late 80s, early 90s.
yeah.
John Stamos.
I think maybe like a sort of a like a.
Well, he looks like my dad. My
little
dad
bit.
with his
Is that
facial
a good or a
hair.
bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Mustache.
Well, my dad's a every time someone sees my dad, they're like, "Your dad's a badass."
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
mustache commands power.
Yeah, totally. So that's another reason I grew the stash. But why John Stamos? Just because I don't know about the Stamos.
I think it's just sort of like a maybe a post-apocalyptic John Stamos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one that hasn't gotten a shave in several weeks and is like, you know, in seclusion, avoiding like a
Missing
virus.
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rebecca Romaine. Oh, that's great.
Mitchell, let's talk about some of Mitchell's hobbies for a minute. When you're home from tour, what do you like to do with your time?
I work on motorcycles, skateboard, and cause trouble.
Cause trouble.
Yeah.
Do you what kind of bike do you ride?
I have two bikes. I ride an Indian motorcycle and a 1973 Harley Ironhead.
This isn't that fair. I don't think that he gets to talk about all the cool stuff he does. I get pretty much made fun of.
You guys talk about sharks
surfing
and
sharks.
jellyfish and man of war.
Really? How is that not good?
The best part about it was Man of War.
Holy
I
very
think
good
everything
part
from start to finish was good.
I think you're completely out of line.
Well,
right
that's
now.
what happens when you talk to.
I talked a little bit, but now I want to talk
Mitchell
a
probably
lot more.
talked less than you did. Well, we're just picking on you.
The usual.
Dave has a affinity towards cat outfits. The ones you dress up.
In Halloween season, it's perfect timing right now.
You know,
So Dave, tell us about your cat. And
I
outfits.
actually have two cats. I've got a black cat who's a slender, athletic cat. His name's Toby. And I have an albino cat named Zero after the white dog from Nightmare Before Christmas. And Zero unfortunately suffers from a skin condition caused by prolonged exposure to the sun, which many albino species across the animal kingdom will have to deal with. I'm told. I guess it was sort of during a rougher time of my wife and I were having with money. We were really down in the dumps, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to make the next rent payment and what we were going to do next. And we had to go buy cat food that night, so we went and we got some cat food. And upon spending those last few dollars that we had, we saw an Elvis wig for 4 cats in PetSmart. And I guess the moral of the story is that you really can't put a dollar value on a cat wig. You know what I mean? Because
or a dog costume.
Because it's going to give you happiness far and beyond what you would spend that $8 on otherwise. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I think we've covered all the important bases.
Yeah, and that's just everything there is to Throwdown and to die for. Is nothing but great laughs and dressing your dogs and cats up in funny little costumes.
Happy Halloween.
In my youth, a ghost stepped through me. Life was never quite the same. A new dark truth, a cursed recluse, left choking on the bitter shame. I forced it down.